An Arizona lawmaker says he's tired of smelling his neighbors smoking marijuana at his house. So now he's proposing two different pieces of legislation aiming to punish anybody responsible for emitting excessive amounts of marijuana smoke in a neighborhood. 12 News journalist Gabriella Becerra live in studio explaining these bills. And yeah, it's a pungent smell, Gabby.
It is. And Arizona voters legalized marijuana 5 years ago, allowing people to smoke in their own homes and backyards. But now a Republican lawmaker wants to cite smokers whose cannabis odor drifts onto other properties.
It has been a bit of a problem in my neighborhood to where I've had to have my kids come inside.
There's an odor Republican Senator J.D. Mesnard doesn't want his kids inhaling.
I don't want to even have the drug conversation with my 4-year-old because it can smell like, what's that smell?
That's why he introduced legislation that aims to criminalize excessive marijuana smoke and odor coming from other homes.
It's basically saying what you do in your private property is your business, but the moment there's such a strong odor or smoke that's affecting your neighbors and down the street, then it's no longer just your business.
Anyone who smells marijuana wafting from a neighbor's property into their own can call the police, and the offender would be cited for criminal nuisance, a misdemeanor.
Enforceability be a challenge. You have to call the police, and as with any sort of nuisance, probably it's going to be more a habitual situation where you're not responding when they've engaged with you that would rise to that higher level.
Opponents of the bill argue voters already shot this down in 2020.
Back when Prop 207 was passed, part of what the Arizona voters agreed upon was that you can't use the odor of burnt marijuana as probable cause for any crime anymore.
Julie Gunnagle, the state director of NORML, the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws, says the wording of the bill is imprecise and opens the door for wrongful accusations.
How do you quantify smell at all? How do you preserve smell? How do you prove your innocence in a case like this?
Mesnard introduced two identical pieces of legislation, one that would ultimately go to the governor's desk and the other that would let voters decide in November. Both bills are now waiting a vote from the full state Senate. Troy?
Yeah, it does seem like it might be tough to enforce, right? I mean, say you smell something in your yard, you'd have to call police and have them go out there and hope the smell's still out there.
And that's something Mesnard admits could be a challenge and something that will remain to be seen if this bill does pass.
All right, Gabby.